siyempre paano nila na iba yung signal ng eliminations. Iba yung signal ngayong semis. And siyempre, mas iba yung signal pag championship na. Kaya ngayon, nakikita nila na babawi talaga.
I hope very exciting. Maraming like quality volleyball kaparoon ng mga volleyball fans. And yes, sana mag-enjoy sila at gagawin namin yung best namin para sa team at para sa kanila.
We are down to the last game of semifinals in our 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference as we come to you live from the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Criss Cross King Crunchers are coming off of a 3-set victory against Volleyball Never Stops last Wednesday, while Cignal HD was able to sweep the Savage Spin Doctors as well. It has been pretty clean for these two teams in the semifinals. They have already booked their respective tickets into the championship series, but today it's about momentum, it's about pride as these two teams once again square off in yet another chapter of their rivalry in Philippine men's volleyball. This follows the 4-set victory of the Savage Spin Doctors a while ago against VNS, and we are down, as I mentioned, to our last game in the semis before we proceed to the finals on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Coach Ronnie Magsanok, and Ayana Perlas will be our courtside reporter. Coach Ronnie, Cignal HD is very hungry to prove themselves once again against Criss Cross. Pero sa ngayon, may dumagdag pa na Mark Espejo sa King Crunchers.
Alam mo, para sa Cignal, winning is a habit. 8-time Spikers Turf champions, trying to go for their 8th straight finals appearance and try to add on to that luxurious collection that they've had over the years. Meanwhile, Criss Cross King Crunchers trying to overcome their rivals and arch nemesis, looking to solve the kryptonite of the Cignal HD Spikers as they are on course towards their trilogy of their final series.
Technically speaking, this game would be non-bearing as these two have already booked their tickets into the finals. But then again, it's not as if there's no value in this matchup, Coach Ronnie.
According to Coach Dexter Clamore, there is a lot of value in this matchup simply because the mastery that has been shown to them or by their opponent today, Criss Cross King Crunchers, is such that they want to overcome that as early as possible. And number two, psychologically, they want to head into the finals with a win against the team that beat them twice in the double round elimination battle.
I like that you mentioned the word mastery. That was actually displayed by Cignal HD in their previous game versus Savage. Coach Ronnie, for them to win in straight sets against the Spin Doctors, that's quite the feat.
Oh, definitely. A team that took them to 5 sets in one of their meetings in the elimination round. But in this particular contest, there was no 5-setter. It was a 3 straight sweep for the HD Spikers and making sure that they controlled the offense and likewise in terms of non-scoring skills. We talk about, of course, Bugawan and Umandal and Rotor, and these definitely are big names for Coach Dexter Clamore. Definitely a big plus in terms of controlling the scoring skills and likewise a dominant figure, a dominant team in terms of the non-scoring skills as well.
A big factor into getting 40 spikes in that game was their setter in Owa Retamar. He had a season high of 21 excellent sets versus Savage.
Sabi nga ni Owa Retamar kanina, yung sa kanyang interview, iba ang Cignal HD Spikers elimination, iba pag playoffs. Joshua Retamar, a playoff Retamar, 21 excellent sets, but more than that, this is a decorated player. A UAAP champion, a Spikers Turf champion, a best setter multiple times, and a Southeast Asian Games silver medalist way back in 2019. Also a part of the national pool for the World Volleyball Championships this year. But more than that, he's a born winner. Definitely a very good orchestrator. And when the season is on the line, Retamar is at his best. There are 3 rotations, or rather 3 setters in the roster, and that's why yung mga numero medyo mababa pero hindi alintana yan ni Owa Retamar. Yeah. It's all about winning. It's all about bringing home that gold medal.
Individually, there's quite a momentum as well for Owa Retamar because before that 21 excellent set performance, he had 19 as well in their other semi-final game against BNS. But now let's transition on to the Criss Cross King Crunchers. It was actually the first start of Mark Espejo in their previous outing, and they had a sweep versus BNS.
As if roster power was not enough, in comes Mark Espejo from out of the blue. And suddenly, the depth continued to be deeper, and it showed in that last match as they proved dominance. And just one-sided affair in their favor. Espejo getting the start, Espejo controlling the scoring, Espejo and the rest of the King Crunchers showing that they can play together. And when they play well together, sky's the limit. We'll talk about the possibilities for this Jude Garcia led King Crunchers.
Jude Garcia also had 9 points to chip in. Nico Almendras had 10 points, but the top scorer was the returning Mark Espejo with 14 big ones, also with great efficiency of 50%.
Have no fear, Mark Espejo is here. Remember that Espejo played for the Cignal HD Spikers for the longest time. Won 3 championships under coach Dexter Clamor, a record holder in the UAP for most points scored. Has played abroad since 2018. Also a part of the silver medal team in the Southeast Asian Games. 5-time UAP MVP, 3-time UAP champion, 4-time Spikers Turf Finals MVP as well. But in spite of that, it's all about unfinished business for Espejo in his bid to try and lift this franchise to its first ever Spikers Turf Championship.
It's going to be his first battle versus his former team this 2025 Open Conference. But now, we are ready to turn you over to Ariana Perlas for our Pilipinas Live poll question.
Thank you so much, Migs and Coach Ronnie. And yes, like what you guys mentioned, we love hearing from our fans online, most especially for our poll question of the day at the Pilipinas Live app. If you guys haven't downloaded the app yet, don't forget to download it on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Here's our poll question right below your streams. Which national team standout will pour in the points today? Is that Steven Rotter or Mark Espejo? Casting your votes on the Pilipinas Live app. But then for those of you who want to join in the conversation, don't forget to use our hashtag SpikersTurf 2025 and follow us on all our social media platforms to stay updated on your favorite teams and of course our schedule of Spikers Turf. Let's now turn it over to our venue announcer for the starting lineup.
Number 36 between Cignal HD Spikers and your Criss Cross King Crunchers. Presenting our officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Herbert Matematico, International Referee. Second referee, Mr. Patrick Castillo, National Referee. Now let us meet the starters. First for Cignal HD Spikers. Calling on their team captain at number 8, JP Bugawan. Wearing jersey number 3, Joshua Retamar. At number 4, Steven Rotter. Number 10, Wendell Miguel. At number 20, Lloyd Josaphat. Number 21, Louis Ramirez. Their starting libero, number 7, Vince Lorenzo. With their head coach, Mr. Dexter Clamor. Now let's welcome your Criss Cross King Crunchers. Starting with number 1, Nico Almendras. Jersey number 2, Jaron Requinton. At number 4, Kim Malabunga. Jersey number 5, Jude Garcia. Number 14, Ish Polvorosa. Number 16, Gian Glorioso. Starting libero number 22, Manuel Sumangid. With their head coach, Mr. Anunson Thai Bundit. This is the semifinals match of the Cignal HD Spikers and Criss Cross King Crunchers.
There's a lot of experimentation in this open conference for Coach Dexter Clamor. Today, he will go with his most usual starters in JP Bugawan, Steven Rotter, Wendell Miguel, Owa Retamar, Louis Ramirez, and Lloyd Josaphat, joining their libero in Vince Lorenzo. On the other end, for Coach Thai Bundit, there is no Mark Espejo in the starting unit. He will be coming off the bench. But these are the usual starters. They have begun most games for Coach Thai in their campaign. Remember, Crisscross is still undefeated at 12-0. Cignal HD, they've only lost to the King Crunchers in our open conference. We do thank you for joining us as we begin set number 1 in the semi-final match between these two squads. They have already qualified into the finals this coming week, but it's still about pride, it's still about momentum as that hit sailed outside for Louis Ramirez.
These are big name players in the world of men's volleyball, national players, UAP champions, big names in the NCAA, and of course in the biggest avenue of men's volleyball in the Spikers too. These are the biggest stars that you can see.
One might even argue this is practically an all-star game that we're witnessing in front
or the
of us.
national pool.
Oh, the national pool. As it is Louis Ramirez getting some retribution from the left pin.
A champion in the NCAA under coach Sammy Akailar, also a beach volleyball champion. Now is one of the biggest names here in the Spikers too.
And he was the guy who had to step up with the knee injury to Jao Mandal that happened late in round 1 of our conference.
And the loss of Mark Calado as well.
That's right. As now it is Nico Almendra scoring from the right pin.
Another former UAP champion who's also been an integral part in the success run. Immaculate slate up to this point of the competition. That's Nico Almendras, formerly of the National University Bulldogs under coach Dante Linsunuri.
His former setter is the one on the other side of the net, Ora Tamar. Now onto the quick. Sumanggit with a save. Jude Garcia got a hand, and Miguel won't be able to get to that one.
Back-to-back MVP awards. Most recent player of the week. Bronze medalist of the Southeast Asian Games in beach volleyball. The top gun, the leading scorer for the King Crunchers.
He has scored in double figures 10 out of the 12 games in this conference for Criss Cross. That's Jude Garcia. Steven Rotter couldn't score there. Good chase by Almendras and a chance ball. Give it up. That's like a sky ball. And now Cignal to the open. That was too high for Jude.
One of the top spikers, you talk about attack percentage, that's Steven Rotter. Also the #1 player in terms of service aces.
He has reached 4 aces in 2 games this conference. Steven Rotter scoring in double figures 8 times. That's 2/3 of the total games of Cignal. Ball up by Sumanggid. Polvorosa onto Glorioso, who was rejected by Bugawan.
And that's going to be a very important factor in the battle of the middle blockers. These are decorated players. Glorioso was one in the previous conference for the King Crunchers. And the captain, Bugawan, continues to be one of the best here in the Spikers turf.
That gave us a deadlock. 3-all. Strong serve Sumanggid there for the first ball. Garcia with a cross. Dug back by Lorenzo. Chance for Crisscross. They go to the quick. And it is another rejection by Bugawan.
They're ready for that play. Ish Polvorosa, Owara Tamar, again, our eyes on them. 2 excellent playmakers. But so far, Miguel registering the second offensive block of this first set for the HD Spikers.
It was Wendell and not JP. Make it 4-3 Cignal HD. Polvorosa back sets. Quinton couldn't score. Clear out for the opposite spiker. And a whistle blown. Net touch by Jude.
Good scoring run here for the Cignal HD Spikers. Incidentally, Jude Garcia is the #1 player in terms of ranking, in terms of the blockers, with 24 kill blocks into this match. Imagine that, 160 points scored, 24 blocks registered.
That's just MVP numbers for you once
Again.
more. Garcia rejected, coverage present, and that still went through. Jude just found an open zone. That was zone 5.
And that's how difficult it has been to score so far for Jude Garcia, 49% hitter. Excellent vertical on that second jump. First, the denial. And then on the up. This one. Overpass. Stops the scoring run. Garcia, at least 2 points in the game so far.
A chance to tie if you're Crisscross. Push there by JP. Malabunga to send it through. The Tamar. Rotter. Wow. What a down-the-line hit.
Not a facial, but definitely
A headshot.
Glorioso trying to use his head literally to keep that ball in play. Again, Retamar and Polvorosa. Two outstanding playmakers with such flair for the game.
Yes. 6-4. Requinton, pambawi.
Bawin-bawi. Definitely a bigger role for Requinton. And he has delivered. Number 5 in scoring with 123 points. Heading to the Final Four. Former UST player, also a beach volleyball bronze medalist twice over in the Southeast Asian Games.
He served that ball in. Retamar backs it onto Rotter, and there's a touch again by Criss Cross.
Rotor has been the focal point offensively here in the first set for the Red Shirts.
We did talk about his efficiency in this conference, so why
Very
not?
efficient.
The net was definitely moving there as two blockers went up to contest the hit of Steven Rotter.
That's a 51% hitter in their mids.
Malabunga could not make it drop, and here's the counter.
Oh, nice.
What a setup onto Wendell.
Excellent misdirection by Lloyd Josaphat. And so far, so good here for the HD Spikers, staying 3 points clear.
The 2025 FIVB Men's World Championship tickets are now available. Head on over to www.philippineswch2025.com and get yours now. Speaking of getting yours, it was Wendell Miguel getting a point from the back row in the previous sequence. He just gave Cignal a 5-point advantage here in set 1.
In the first two meetings, CKC has registered 21 blocks against the 11 of Cignal, 6 and 5. But here in their third meeting, Cignal trying to flip the script and outwork Crisscross at the net.
Service error though by Louis Ramirez.
Crisscross only had 10 miscues in that first round win versus the HD Spikers in their second meeting. Meanwhile, they had 3 more at 22 versus 19 of Cignal in terms of error count.
The 10 errors though, ang unti nun. Very clean in one game. That was actually the cleanest performance
against a
of Criss
very
Cross.
good team.
Yeah, in this conference. Lorenzo backsets. And a save by Criss Cross. Polvorosa all over the floor. This is a chance. Owa backset onto Rotter. Just a smart push.
That was not an ordinary push. That was a sky push because of the vertical that he took. And understanding that it was Jude Garcia, the #1 blocker, in front of him, sort of a dump.
Yeah.
Taking a strong hit. But not too many players has that in their offensive arsenal. He's long, he's tall, and gifted.
Make it 17-12. Requinton block, but that went out off of Wendell.
Polvorosa and Retamar showcasing us their variety in terms of ball distribution. What about the look of Sumanggit with mustache and all?
Oh, yeah.
As Isay Marasigan continues to try and wait for the right timing. The captain, rather Isay Marasigan, in civilian clothes today.
Wendell Miguel, though, one of the leaders of Cignal responding.
Indeed. Especially with Jao Mandal. Still hampered by that tendinitis on his right knee. And
it
the
was
loss of Mark Calado.
Left knee si Jao.
And the loss of Mark Calado has opened up more opportunities and extended the floor time of Wendell Miguel, the former Fighting Maroon.
The former Lasalista is in. J.M. Ronquillo, Francis Saura, and Jewel Asia.
Francis Saura, another very good asset in the rotation of Coach Ty Bundit.
You haven't seen Mark Espejo yet, by the way. Jude Garcia, what a sharp cross.
Excellent pass, good offensive sequence. Talked about his 163 points heading to this game, probably closer to point number 200 after this match. 200. 6 teams playing.
Yeah.
And
this is only the 13th game.
And very rare do they have extended matches, remember.
Oh, yeah. For Criss Cross, 8 out of 12 games were settled in straight sets. As now Cignal gets yet another point.
And so far in terms of exchange, we talk about efficiency by the middle hitters. Cignal has the number of the King Crunchers. Second setter coming in. Earlier, it was, of course, talked about Retamar. Now it's EJ Casanya, another outstanding playmaker. And then they still have Chris Silang in their fold.
Silang, though, is in street clothes for today.
Not playing today.
There's a service error committed by Wendell Miguel.
Still a 4-point lead, though.
19-15, Kim Malabunga will take his turn at the service line.
Ooh.
Onto the open. Oh, that was placed in.
Tremendous adjustment by Ramirez. The hang time, the ability to spot the open area in midair.
Yeah. But he turned around completely.
Excellent touch. Casanya took a risk. Paid off.
Misreceived. Chance for Cignal. Oh, that was tough for Ramirez.
Not this time. Still safely ahead though by 4 up to the stage.
That could have been a wonderful opportunity for yet another hammer. We have the double sub back in. Jaron Requinton and Ish Polvorosa for Criss Cross. trailing by 4 here in set 1. Ish Polvorosa now serving. With 5 excellent sets so far. Louis as the target. EJ onto Ramirez. Blocked.
First one. Is that the second block already? Second one for Crisscross.
We have a timeout called.
Okay, listen. Pasa lang maigi. Kanina during the huddle, Louis, sinabi ko, be smart. Be smart. Established block sila eh. I-challenge ba natin yun? O tatargetin natin yung fingertips para makapuntos? O pwede natin iswipe. And again, sabi ko rin kanina, every time na ipapalo, cover tayo. Cover, kasi established block sila eh. Okay? Okay, next. Pag transition, relax. Nagmamadali sa set. Okay, may bako ka pa rin. Meron ka pa rin dito kay ano. Go.
Okay lang, guys.
Awesome!
Cignal just wanting to polish things now that we are at crunch time for set 1.
And those are precise technical corrections that Coach Dexter Clamor pointed out to Louis Ramirez and of course to their second playmaker, EJ Casanya.
Holding on to a 3-point advantage against Ish Polvorosa and company. Ball up by Wendell. EJ back sets. Ronquillo. Ganda ng buelo.
Excellent pass. Ronquillo's first point increases their lead to 4. The doubles up has worked. Back comes Retamar and Rotor for Ronquillo and EJ Casanya.
Manuel Sumangid and company will try to set up their defense once more against this service of Joshua Retamar.
In terms of the defensive specialists as well, very good matchup that we're seeing here.
At Sumangid and Lorenzo, the liberos for Criss Cross and Cignal. Oh, wow, what a serve by Joshua Retamar.
Straight at Jude Garcia. Look at how fast that ball went down.
My goodness.
And that's one of the top receivers that you have here likewise in this conference.
Owa. Again with power there. Back row for Jude. There's retribution.
Wow. That was quick. More than swift. That was Garcia. From Ish Polvorosa. Good misdirection by Glorioso, however, to free up Jude Garcia.
Crisscross still trying to inch in. Violation. Cignal.
Overreach. Sa pool pa si Owa.
Kung natama ng kanyang isang finger.
Hinlalaki o hintuturo.
Still holding on to it. Retamar. Ooh, there you go. But it still worked for Cignal. Oh, check that. That's going to be a point for Crisscross.
Late charge here coming from the King Crunchers. Just when you think that Cignal was on his way to winning set 1, they keep fighting back.
Okay. Hey, listen. Kaya niyo yan. Side out lang. Pagka-side out natin, 23 na kagad. Last 2 na kagad. Okay, kailangan lang makapasa. Kaya? Go.
Let's go! Hey, Cignal!
This could be a concern moving forward.
As these two teams square off in a non-bearing game, they will play again on Wednesday for game 1. And then Friday for game 2.
Yes.
And if there's a game number 3, it will be Sunday. So today until Sunday. But before today, it was Friday. Before Friday, it was Wednesday.
That busy. Rotor, another smart hit.
They stopped the scoring run, but more than that, they move closer to closing out set 1 as we will be able to take a peek at Jao Mandal seeing action for the first time.
Mandal replaces Wendell Miguel off of that hit and point by Steven Rotter.
And at times, really, it's not all about power and force. It's all about placement and timing, like what Steven Rotter did in that last sequence.
23 serving 20. Louis Ramirez. Ball up by Sumang. Ish opens up. Garcia rising up. Couldn't score. Here's the counter. Jao Mandal's turn. Rejected and no coverage.
First touch. Return to sender. Up 2. 2 points away from closing out set 1. Retamar's high set, well read. Glorioso was scored on by Rotor earlier. Glorioso made sure that it won't struck twice.
Now we have the service specialist in for Criss Cross, the returning Pemi Bagale off of a foot injury. Good to have him back.
If it's Marquez Peo who holds the scoring record in the UAP, it's Bagalay who has that honor for in the NCAA.
Retamar onto the quick. Nice save by Almendras. Jude Garcia. What a dig by Lorenzo. The chase by Oa, and he will lose space.
Down to 1 from a high of 5. After Garcia gave up that service ace, Garcia has turned to his third gear, and it has showed.
It's getting tighter and tighter here in set number 1.
That
22 serving 23.
That's why it's so difficult in that position of Pembagalay at the service line.
Could have been a gift for Garcia. Pemi goes right. Jaron block, and the coverage went backwards for Nico Almendras.
That's a big one for Jao Mandal. Locking in that wall together with JP Bugawan.
There's going to be a challenge here by the King Crunchers. It's reaching beyond the net. That's the card that we saw. But do they cancel it? Yep. It seemed like it's not going to push through anymore. Two set points for Cignal. Ball up by Almendras. Back set. Oh, that's dug. Onto the other end and outside.
Another chance here for the King Crunchers. Putting pressure on the HD Spikers. Can the HD Spikers hold on?
This is looking like the tightest set in this conference so far between these two teams. Lorenzo bumps it up onto the left. Umandal with a very tough angle, and that was outside already. This is the first extended set between these two in this conference.
Started with that faulty first ball for Cignal that led to that attack error. Down 5, tied at 24.
Service outside though for Jaron Requinton.
Crucial miss from Jaro Quinton. Another set point here held by Cignal. It's all about composure at this stage of the set.
25-24 set points, even Rotter and company. That is an error as well. $25 all. This is a non-bearing match, by the way.
Or so we think.
What a battle between the two rivals. Ball up by Jao. Backs it onto Rotter. Tough dig. Great effort by Sumangid. Back row for Jude, and it was a miss hit.
He tried to strike away from the blockers. From the pipe. Wanted a different angle. Wanted to go to the opposite side. Look at this play. Blockers are right in the middle. Tried to hit to the right.
Just couldn't make it go through for Jude Garcia. It's another set point for the HD Spikers. Ball up by Sumang. D-ball, Garcia. Couldn't get some retribution yet. It's Ramirez. He will check that ball out, and Cignal HD will win their second set against Criss Cross in this conference.
Wendell Miguel. Excellent defensive play, leading to this Ramirez finish against the triple block, undaunted. Closing out the set, a tight one, an extended one. Sign of things to come perhaps. One set lead for Cignal HD Spikers.
The tightest set in this conference between the rival teams of Cignal HD and Criss Cross. Cignal was actually in control at the start of the match, and then there was a late push by the King Crunchers. Ultimately, the HD Spikers were able to escape in extended fashion.
In spite of the fact that they committed 4 more errors, in the end, it was all about composure and making the big defensive plays. And then that final Louis Ramirez point that finally disallowed Criss Cross from pushing the first set to a more extended fashion. Wendell Miguel, Louis Ramirez, Owara Tamar making sure that the early investment that they had to build a 5-point lead together with Steven Rother would not go to waste amidst that furious late charge thrown at them by the King Crunchers. 52 points to end the first set. And these are the numbers that are just a glimpse on how well Cignal played against Criss Cross, who somehow recovered after the midpoint all the way to that late charge, only to come up short because of service errors and some defensive lapses. Now they will fall behind 1-0 against the 8-time Spikers Turf champions, the Cignal HD Spikers.
11 errors just won't do it for you if you're Cignal HD. The most that they actually averaged in a game was 8.8 in round 1 versus Navy. So let's see if they're gonna play cleaner volleyball in the next sets. As now, we'd like to remind you that UAP Season 87 volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAP Varsity channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live, because legends start here. Sa UAP din naman po nanggaling sina Ish Polvorosa, sina Gian Glorioso, Jude Garcia, Jaron Riquinton sa beach volleyball.
Yes. Sa UST.
We haven't seen Mark Espejo yet, and he will continue to ride the bench of Criss Cross in this matchup. Remember, he was the best player on the King Crunchers in their previous outing versus VNS.
Josaphat, meanwhile, played for the UE Red Warriors. Also part of the national team, part of the national pool.
Hindi na nagpalit yung mga kulay na sinusuot niya, Coach Ronnie. Red and white.
Eh, gumagana naman.
Yeah.
National player pa.
We are beginning set number 2 here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. This is Mix Gomez with Coach Ronnie Magsanok, and Ayana Perlas is our courtside reporter. This is our last semifinals game. Oh, what a cross-court hit. Still saved by Ramirez. Coverage there by Lorenzo. Ooh, Bugawan unable to get it through.
In transition, went for the shoot set. Out of sync. Good defensive play coming from Gian Glorioso. And a miss coming from Bugawan. Riquinton Garcia combining for 10 first set points, while Miguel led the way for the HD Spikers with 5 points as well.
This is Garcia giving up a free ball. Lorenzo Retamar to the open. Cross court for Steven Rother.
When Steven Rother first played here in Manila, he had a hard time getting used to the kind of game that the Spikers had. Number 1, recognizing, of course, the opposition. Number 2, understanding the Philippine brand of volleyball and developing chemistry between him and the rest of his teammates.
Well, he actually had to go through more tests. Of course, joining Cignal HD, an established team already in the Spikers turf, but he looks to be good at this point in the
very
conference.
Good. More than good. Place has found his comfort zone with Coach Dexter Clamor and the rest of the HD Spikers.
I'm just happy also, Coach Ronnie, that he's now healthy.
Correct.
He did miss out a lot of games because of an injury, an ankle injury.
And again, service errors hurting the King Crunchers late in that first set.
At the net, it's Malabunga sending it through. Tamar, great recognition, chance ball. Sumang, Ish, onto the left. That time it won't be chased anymore by Cignal.
While Garcia is at that spot, you have to make sure he gets his touches. Very hard to defend. Definitely harder to stop. Second blocker was late.
6 points now in the game for Jude Garcia. Top scorer among all players. Josaphat hit that ball wide.
Challenge.
Yeah. This will be our first official challenge, right, Coach Ronnie?
Correct.
Crisscross thought of challenging once in set 1, pero binawi nila.
Ito, walang bawian.
Oo. Block touch ang hinihingi ng Cignal HD. Just so everybody would be aware, the first championship game or the first finals game will happen on Wednesday here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum.
I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brian Bagunas.
Oh, he's here. There you go. How can we not recognize him? I'm sure we'll get a camera on him in a moment.
Welcome back. The high-flying Brian Bagunas.
Would have been nice to see him battle it out once again with Mark
In
Espero,
time,
but
in
not
time.
yet. That looked clean. Unsuccessful challenge for Coach Dexter Clamore and company. Service now for Jaron Requinton. They're up by 2 in set 2. Miguel first ball. Oh,
Miss hit.
almost worked for Cignal. D-ball. No coverage.
Outblock in the first 2 losses. Turned the tables and used that exceptional work at the net to be able to contain that depth, that firepower that Criss Cross has imposed on them in the first 2 meetings.
Also Safat getting the block, and Miguel with quite a celebration as now it's a service error by Steven Rotter.
2-point lead. Criss Cross, biggest so far here for the King Crunchers.
Jude Garcia's turn. Ball up by Louis. Safat couldn't get it down. Ish will counter with Nico. Almendras sent it long.
So far, Almendras has not found the scoring touch. Something that Criss Cross needs to also ease the pressure on Requinton and Jude Garcia.
This is after he scored in double figures versus VNS on 57% attack efficiency. But it is different when
Totally
going up against Cignal HD.
Oh, totally different. The gold standard here in the Spikers turf are the HD Spikers.
That is another error by Wendell Miguel. A lot of service errors from the HD Spikers.
3 points given up. That's 7 or 11.
11,
First set errors. But they were able to survive.
Lorenzo got the pass, and it's Rotter down the line. Malabunga with a dig. Set up for Jude. Ang line ng dinayo. And it works for Jude Garcia.
Error count. Cignal 5 here in this set alone.
Wow.
That's over 50% of the total output of the King Crunchers. Almendras. Excellent setup for Jude Garcia, who
But
throws the line.
Control as well, yeah. Garcia with a big smile on his face as now it is a service error by Kim Malabunga. The 3rd error in this set by the King Crunchers. More than half also, Coach Ronnie, of the total of their opponent.
That's a lot.
Five-7, Josafat. Almendras first ball. Slide.
Yes.
We haven't seen much of that, but we'll take it from Gian Glorioso.
After the excellent pass, you can see it in the guys. Glorioso's eyes lit up. Perfect slide play. The Ateneo connection working wonders for the King Crunchers.
It is Crisscross
2015. Yes, 10 years for Sandy Montero. But of course, speaking of Cignal, Mix and Coach Ronnie, I'm sure everyone is wondering what happened to Cignal this conference. And before the semifinals, the team decided to meet with a sports psychologist who brought them awareness with the team. Energy vampire, or with the term energy vampire, a player who sucks out the energy of the whole team. Little did the team know na may tendency pala sila unconsciously to suck out each other's energies because of stress and pressure. During the elimination round, they were frustrated, emotional, dramatic, but after aligning with each other, finally iba na yung atmosphere ng team ngayon. Not yet 100%, pero mas disciplined na sila, mas composed, may sense of urgency, resulting to them being more confident and having better body language, better communication, which we saw in our first set. Back to you guys.
It seemed like the vampire has been showed off by Cignal HD.
Maganda pakinggan pag English, pag Tagalog. Medyo madiin eh.
Doon na lang tayo sa sinabi ni Ayan. Energy vampire.
And you know what? If I recall correctly, it was Sandy Montero was the first best libero for the HD Spikers in their first title run.
My goodness. What, a decade ago already?
That's why he continues to stay with the team, because of the service that he has rendered in the last 10 years. 12 months times 10 years, 120 months with this team.
Wow, I won't be surprised if he will transition as a coach as well in the future.
Like
Back
Coach
row.
Dexter Clamor,
Yeah,
who played for Cignal before, by the way.
kasama ni Coach Sandy.
Yes.
Ni Sandy pala, hindi pa siya
Nagpalit
coach.
mo na.
Steven Rotter with a monstrous hit.
Pala ka. And now the shoe is on the other foot. They have to play chase down here. An early lead. Excellent pass coming from Lorenzo.
Another sharp hit by Steven Rotter, just using his verticality.
Underhand set coming from Lorenzo. Augurs well for Steven Rotter.
Saved by Ish, and Rotter with yet another drop with a block.
Ish tried to make the adjustment in the midair. Garcia ambushed by Rotter. And again, the net defense of the HD Spikers. Nowhere to go was Jude Garcia.
Cignal HD within 2. Ball up by Sumang. Ish back sets. Jaron goes cross, and that was long and wide.
Not the usual efficiency for Riquenton and Almendras. Lead just down to 1 from a high of 4. Timeout for Coach Taibundi.
May pasa tayo, guys. Okay lang. Safe call already, doing fast. Go lang. Happy. May pilay. Pasensya ulit, patience ulit tayo. Okay, huwag tayo mainit. Huwag tayo mainit. Makakascore tayo. Okay?
There you see Mr. Brian Bagunas watching inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. We do miss seeing you on the court, Brian, but get well soon. We're just gearing up once again to witnessing his greatness at the Worlds later this year. Right now, it is Cignal versus Crisscross in the semis, 10-9 in set 2. Steven Rotter blocked, no coverage.
And the possibility of being down by 2 sets is something that would require urgency on the part of Criss Cross to play better net defense the way Cignal has done against their offense. With offensive blocks, they're delivered by Glorioso to protect this slight 2-point lead.
Second appearance in the game now for Jao Umandal.
An early one.
Louis Ramirez, yeah, he came in late in set 1. Now he's blocked. There's the net defense that you were looking for.
That has to be a constant for a very good blocking team. Well timed by Malabungan, not biting that first decoy move coming from JP Bugawan.
Lead is 3 now for Criss Cross. Back row, pinabawi si Jao.
Look at the reaction of Coach Dexter Clamor trying to pump up Jao Mandal. But remember, it's never easy playing through pain. And any kind of injury hampers one's usual efficient self.
It was in that round 1 game versus Criss Cross when he hyperextended his left knee Slide. Ayun naman ang pambawi para kay Kim.
And now the spotlight is on the middle blockers. Glorioso, Team Malabunga have really combined well to help Criss Cross stay unbeaten up to this point of the competition.
Ish Polvorosa able to activate them. Let's see if he can do more. 13-10, the push, and
What a save by Sumanggit.
yeah. It's all worth it as Jude Garcia scores.
Indeed. From a 10-9 scoreline, this is a 4-1 counter generated by Ish Polvorosa's orchestration. And at times, Jude Garcia has been contained, but you can never stop him completely. Back-to-back MVP awards.
Wendell got a hand there.
5 points in set 1. That's 5 of the first 25. Double sub commences. Still down by 3.
Tropilio.
Correct.
This is Wendell Miguel getting off of the right hand of Kim Malabunga. Double sub on the other end. Now about to check in, we have Francis Saura and Jewel Asia.
One from NU, the other from De La Salle University, who also dabbles as an assistant coach, by the way.
Yes, he's that busy. There's Jewel Asia. Again, still no Mark Espejo as of this moment from Criss Cross. Here's EJ. Ball up by Nico Almendras. Bit of a chase for Jewel. Back set to Saura, and he was rejected.
High ball, well read. Big time two-way player, Wendell Miguel. Back set by Jewel Asia, well read. Was that just a fact or was that Wendell Miguel? Either way, they score off that offensive block.
Straight closure on the rejection. No! Jude Garcia with an opening.
And again, Jewel Asia making sure that habang nasa harapan si Jude Garcia, bakit hindi pupuntahan?
Give him his touches.
As much as you want. Andy
Only touch
for
talaga.
Jude.
Yun ang kanyang deserve. Make it 15-12 Criss Cross. Back row for Jao. Boy, did we miss those moments from Jao Mandal.
Seems very fit to play. Perhaps limiting his minutes, but increasing his efficiency. That's a challenge to Jao Mandal, the former Tiger. Now with 3 points.
13 serving 15, Jewel. Nico Almendras met at the net. Chow. EJ now. Rejection by Malabunga. Umandal. Rejected again!
Impossible, says Malabunga.
I love that reference, Coach Ronnie.
Second technical timeout. 3-point lead stays on for the King Crunchers.
Ito yung game na kailangan namin makuha na matalo yung Crisscross kasi momentum yung inahabol namin. So, pag dinalo kami sa kanila, madadala namin hanggang finals. Napag-aralan namin and nalaman namin kung ano pa yung mga lapses namin and kung ano pa yung pwede naming magawa na para matalo namin sila. Kumbaga, nagsusubok kami sa mga ganong problema kung paano ba namin i-address and paano kami mabubuwasan.
There is the importance of this game, even though this is non-bearing. These two will face each other in the finals. And so far, it has not disappointed us. And by the way, get your daily dose of sports updates on Starting Lineup Mondays to Fridays, 6:30 p.m. live on Filipinas Live and on One News. As Cignal HD gets a point here off of a block. By the way, Starting Lineup is also available on One Sports and One Sports Plus. There's a wet spot off of that rejection by Cignal HD. Causing a bit of a delay, but now we're ready for this service by Lloyd Josafat. 3 points so far for our national team middle blocker. Back row for Jude. Wow.
Good fake coming from Almendras. Defense had to choose who to guard.
Even I had my eye
Look at
on
this.
Nico.
There was Glorioso, there was Almendras, and then there's Hey Jude.
Came out of nowhere.
Multiple options for Jewel Asia as Ish Polvorosa makes his re-entry together with Jara Quinton.
Ish has 10 excellent sets. They're up by 3. EJ back sets. J.M. Ronquillo denied by Nico Almendras.
A lot better in terms of net defense. More block attempts in the set here for Criss Cross.
A lot of familiarity here, Coach Ronnie, from
Indeed.
the UAAP to the Spikers term. Ronquillo versus Almendras.
And anytime you want to get the gold medal, you have to work both ways. Offense and defense. Another service error here for Criss Cross. 15 in the set meanwhile for the HD Spikers.
Double sub returning for Coach Dex. We have to do it properly. Retamar and Rotter. They're down by 3 as Criss Cross looks to equalize in terms of sets in this matchup. Retamar, 12 excellent sets for him. He's coming off of a conference high 21 excellent sets versus Savage.
In 3 sets.
Yes, in 3 sets, an average of 7%. Off the block. That's very common for Nico Almendras.
Right. Almendras starting to gain full charge, so to speak.
Did mention he was quiet in set number 1.
Very quiet. Missed a couple of line shots. Or back to a 4-point lead.
19-15. JP Bugawan. Nice read by Sumang. And here's Jude. Had to come from afar. One more. Criss Cross. Yes,
Nice.
sir.
And you like the effort of Gian Glorioso. Continues to run. Continues to try and extract a blocker. To open up things for his wing spikers. Look at this sequence again. Beside Polvorosa, faking. Attracting 2 blockers to open up space and time.
Time out, Coach Dex.
Baseline tayo. Adjust ka ng base dito. Kasi line lang talaga siya. Hey, huwag nagmamadali. Pag umu-opensa, hindi kailangan nagmamadali. Hawa. Super pa. Hey. Go. Let's go. Signal. Let's go. Signal.
We return to our action here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. A good number of people witnessing the greatest of Cignal and Criss Cross. Nico Almendras will continue to serve. He has 3 points.
Almendras has 3, but Garcia has 11. 6 in set number 2.
This is the 11th time that he has scored in double figures. Steven Rotter with a response off of their timeout.
Faster contact against the double block. Look at this. Rescue coming from Rotor. Oh, there was a gap in that double block. Pounding the team in the defense. Pushing them 1 point closer.
16 serving 20 now. Jao Umandal. Yeah, the toss looked off.
Wincing after that last service miscue.
Make it 21-16. Gian Glorioso's turn. Safely in. Owa to the open. Wendell down the line.
Clean hit for Wendell Miguel. Has often been overlooked,
Oh, yes.
but definitely has had his big thumbprint in all those championships that he was a part of for this franchise.
His leadership is very vital. Unable to get a block there.
Kitang-kita mo, good locker room player.
Oh, yes. Malabunga will get it to drop.
Espalvrosa making the defense guess once again. Shuffling his passes, activating wing hitters and middle blockers.
Joshua Retamar unable to get the save there. Crisscross closing into a set victory. They're up by 5.
Side out
Received by
lang
Jao.
ang palitan.
Jude, hirap nun.
He went for it. Natawa si Coach Tay Bundit.
Well, they do have that cushion, as you mentioned, side out, side out. They can afford it. This is Steven Rotter to challenge the defense of Jude Garcia and company. Oh, an error.
Side out, side out. That's all I can say. Diffusing, the uprising, a little deflating. We're trying to fight back. Down 5, timeout for Coach Clamor.
Hey, ngayong second set, ang dami nating unforced error. Pagdating ng third set, watch tayo, kalimutan na natin yung nangyari dito. Ngayon, unti-untiin natin, mari natin, sa atin pa yan. Iba lang naman, hindi pa tapos yan, hindi pa tapos. O side out, serve tayo ng malakas. Tuloy pa rin ha, no doubt. When you serve, serve hard talaga para maka-block tayo, maka-depensa, okay? Go, 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 go!
Cignal has actually doubled the errors in this set of the Criss Cross King Crunchers. They're down by 5. Everything has to be clean.
Sa umpisa pa lang, yun na yung trend eh. That has gone deeper here in the set, and that has hurt their chances of overturning an early deficit. Almost the first set point here already for Criss Cross.
Let's see if things will be smoother for Cignal HD. Backs it onto Steven. That is inside as ruled by the linesman. It will be challenged by the King Crunchers. Yeah, Coach Tai took some time there, but all of the players wanted a challenge. Okay, ball in, ball out. It did look unanimous from the players on the court. They were convinced that it was out. This could actually give the King Crunchers set point already.
Correct.
Oh, that was in. Straight to the line.
Straight to zone 1. Perfect hit coming from Rotor. Going for broke.
It is 19-23. Wendell Miguel getting a reminder from the referee. So he had to instruct a fellow teammate about something. But now he's ready to serve. Ish slide. Save by Wendell. On to Lloyd Ozafat.
Save by Wendell. 2 straight points for the red shirts. Sabi nga ni Coach Dexter sige lang. Mahaba pa yan. Baka makalapit. Baka makatikip.
Cignal up to 20 points now in set 2. Nico Almendras cross.
Remember that when he used to play for National University, he was the ultimate closer.
Yep.
So used to being the go-to player. Recently married, by the way.
Yeah. Actually missed a game during the conference as he got married. Congratulations to Nico. Now we have Penny Bagalay back to serve. 4 set points for Criss Cross. Ball up by Vince. It's Ozafat with yet another point.
Excellent control coming from Josaphat. And the pass by Lorenzo. Retamar did not have to move at all.
21-24. Criss Cross trying to end the set. Not yet. Owa onto Jao. Blocked and no coverage. Crisscross equalizing 1 set apiece in this matchup.
Perfect way to end this set for the King Crunchers. Something that was missing from their arsenal. Something which Cignal imposed on them in that first set win. Borrowing a page, closing out the set, tying the scoreline at 1 set apiece.
Semifinal matchup before they proceed to their championship series on Wednesday. And we did mention the errors time and time again in set number 2 for Cignal HD. They committed more compared to the King Crunchers after it was different in set number 1. Now, Cignal did make a late push as well. Unfortunately, Kim Malabunga and company were able to execute just enough to escape in set 2, countering the production of Jao Umandal. And even in the last play, there was a rejection against Jao. It was Gian Glorioso registering the final point for Criss Cross in that set.
By virtue of an offensive block. And look at the numbers in terms of blocking. And, of course, it's not to simplify things, but eventually it boils down once again to a much improved defensive tenacity exhibited by Crisscross, especially talk about net defense. Kung anong ginawa sa kanila ng Cignal, ibinilik nila, dinoble pa nila yung kanilang effort. And again, the HD Spikers have committed a total of 20 errors, I believe, already in this match. 11 in the first set, plus 2 here in the second set loss. And a lot of those coming from the service line, something that they would like to avoid in their bid to regain the upper hand against the King Crunchers.
6 out of the 9 errors came from the service line in set 2 for Cignal HD.
Sakit yun.
Oo. Arena Plus, Stakes Sports, Criss Cross. Now, would like to start anew here in set 3. They're trying to do what they did actually versus Cignal in round number 2. They dropped set 1 with a score of 19-25, but then they won the next 3 sets. Louis Ramirez sending it through. Ish to Jaron, the cross. Rotter there to save it.
Nice.
Wendell to put it back. Also by Ramirez. Combination. Well, it was Rico Almendras attacking from the left. And he got a check. Our leading scorers, by the way, Jude Garcia has 11 and Wendell Miguel has 9.
Miguel had 4 in the second set. Garcia had 6 to lead all King Crunchers.
Tamar back to Louis. That was tight. Still, Ramirez able to exploit the net defense of Criss Cross.
Using his left hand.
Yeah.
Salvaging that last sequence very tight. Beating Rickinton.
It was virtually a block for him, if you think about it. One's across the board. Make a wish, everybody. Polvorosa going quick. Glorioso unable to score. And here is the counter with Rotter. Ish sent it backwards. The chase. Jaron still in. Chance ball Cignal.
Halata bang nag-beach volleyball?
Crisscross with Jaron. Block. Coverage by Gian. Now they send it to Nico. Blocked again.
Excellent offensive and defensive sequence for these two teams. What a joy to watch.
Yeah.
And everybody looking forward to the trilogy, the face-off once again in the finals for the third straight conference. That's all I can say.
This is just a prelude, ladies and gentlemen. There's the block by Cignal HD. It's been quite the theme in this game, the net defense. Ish. Pambawi. Retamar able to put it up. It's Rotter. Block. And oh, will fake the save. Kinabahan si Coach Dexter for a while there.
Consecutive points for the red shirts. Ahead by 2. The floor defense. You can never say enough. We've been overemphasizing the net defense. But what about the floor defense of these two squads?
Cignal HD up 3-1. Wow. A bomb from the back, courtesy of Jude Garcia.
Back row play. Specialty of Jude Garcia. A former Tamarao. And again, Glorioso. Perpetual motion for Gian Glorioso.
Two-3. Lorenzo first ball. Retamar opens up. Rotter again. Playing it smart.
Very smart. Identifying that open space. This time it's the turn of Bugawan to extract Gian Glorioso at the net. Rotter had that height advantage over Riquinton.
4-2 Cignal. Jaron! Cross!
Returning the favor. But one thing you like about Garcia, not just his scoring, not just his blocking, but his efficiency at the reception. Napakahusay maghatid ng bola sa setter.
We actually had 5 games already reaching double figures in receptions, all better than 50% efficiency, as now it is Rotter getting a point back for Cignal.
Getting a lot of touches here from Alvaro Tamar while he's in front. Enjoying himself. 10 points at least for Rotter in this game. So those are the two top guns for the HD Spikers, Miguel and Rotter.
Ish with a quick look. Garcia soaring and scoring.
Ish Polvorosa named as a player of the week. Jarek Anton named as a player of the week. Last one to be cited was Jude Garcia. While on the other side, it's Umandal and Rotter getting that recognition. Ilan lang yun, ha?
Oo nga, ang bilis ng tournament natin.
Pang 6th week na ito.
Nagpapalitan yung Cignal and Crisscross. Now it's Rotter getting another point. He's feeling it, Coach
Oh,
Ronnie.
yes, indeed. Very hard to stop. But more than that, oblivious to the fact that there are 2 blockers in front of him, overpowering even the coverage or the floor defense.
6-4, Rotter has 12 points received by Suma. Ish had to chase that down. Garcia
Will
wide.
miss. Line shot was covered well. Forced to go across.
It's now 7-4. Steven Rotter and Cignal looking good.
And the trend so far after the first 2 sets was that the one who dictates an early lead goes on and wins the set.
Garcia block, no coverage. And Cignal will lead us to the first technical timeout.
Up
Doubling,
4.
yeah, the output of Crisscross so far.
Jao Umandal, how head coach Dex Clamor is trying to pump him up and how he is playing with pain. And I just want to add, Jao is actually nursing a total of 3 minor injuries. That is lower back spasms, like what you guys mentioned earlier, the left knee pain, and a foot injury as well. Now, Jao mentioned to me that his performance is definitely affected and he is very frustrated because he is unable to let out the Jao Umandal that we all know, most especially in this conference. Gusto lang naman niya daw niya bumawi, but he is having a very tough and hard time due to these minor injuries. Back to you guys.
Lalo na if you go actually back onto how he started in this conference, Jao Mandal scored in double figures in their first 4 games before these injuries started to happen. And by the way, the 2025 FIVB Men's World Championship tickets are now available. Head on over to www.philippines.wch2025.com and get yours now. Back row, Garcia, block coverage by Sumang. The ball now onto the Quinton. Cignal there to save it. It's Wendell. Rejected. Owa. Now to the right.
Nice.
Rotter block. Good rally. Crisscross's turn. Slide with Kim. Rejected by Wendell. Bump to Nico. Down the line for Nico Almendras.
Wow. First long rally that we've seen in the match, not just in the set. Almendras emerges as the closer in that last sequence.
The effort has just been splendid in this matchup for a non-bearing match. It's all about momentum, as mentioned to us by Owa Retamar. You'd like to master your game before you proceed to yet another match against them
And
on Wednesday.
make yourselves believe that you can beat the other team. Alam kong head-to-head count 8-4 in favor of Cignal between these two teams.
And
Nice
it's
hit.
Criss Cross 2-0 in this conference. That was Rotter with an error.
Tried to go long and deep, but definitely overshot the mark. Omahayo 4 lead is down to 1. Has not scored since reaching the first technical timeout when they were ahead by 4 points.
Now a chance to give us a deadlock. Jude Garcia. Service out. That's the 6th service error of Criss Cross. We've seen 11 from Cignal HD. Wendell Miguel taking his turn. It's been him and Rotter as the top scorers of the HD Spikers. 9 now for Wendell. Almendras getting it back. Tried to drop it. It was short.
Timing was a problem. Down to 1 earlier. Back to a 3-point lead.
He had to adjust as well mid-air, right? With the setup. Back row, Jude Garcia getting a check.
Oh yes, block touch. Totally gifted.
Oh yes, such a joy to watch. It's now 8-10. Kim Malabunga with 5 points to his name.
The way he propels his body to beat the defense, something to marvel at.
Oh, the joust between 2 former teammates. Now Almendras will score for Criss Cross.
Excellent recovery, perfect balance by Almendras. That joust battle was tough,
That was against Owa Retamar.
but the second effort was even better. Away from Josaphat.
Criss Cross closing in. 9-10. Malabunga. Oh, that's out. The 7th service error of Criss Cross. Now we're going to see for the first time the younger Bugawan. This is Martin or Teng Bugawan checking in for his kuya. He's had a couple of starts in this season, 4 to be exact. And Teng actually had 2 games scoring double figures, both in round 2 versus Savage and Alpha respectively. As now there is a service error by Lloyd Josafat. A dozen service errors for Cignal HD.
Still a 1-point lead though.
Service safely in for Ish. Rotter. Nice read by Sumanggid. Jaron had to recalculate for that one. Played clean.
They get another chance.
Sumang now left down the line. Read well by Rotter. Ramirez. Cross. Oh, what a
Wow.
save. Chance ball signal. Can they maximize? It's the 1-2 by Oa Retamar, but there was a net touch by Oa.
Ito yung nagmamadali na binabanggit ni Coach Dexter Clamor kanina pa. Transition save coming from Glorioso. Pero nakita mo rin yung advantage talaga ni Owa Retamar.
Oh, yeah.
Sa tangkad, sa taas tumalon.
Oh, we saw a lot of that in the UAAP. He's been experimenting on more sets in the Spikers turf. As now there is another violation by Cignal.
They lose the lead. 5-point turnaround. It was 8-4, remember. Since that time, it has been an 8-3 scoreline in favor of the King Crunchers, who are now on top by 1.
Ang dami nating tinatapon. Ang dami nating tinatapon. Side out lang tayo, wala sila ibang ginagawa. Net touch, attack error. Kailangan ng disiplina, pare. Frontline ka, pwede ka mag-drop. Okay? Oh, wash. Go, let's go.
Hey, Cignal!
It is now 12-11 in favor of the Criss Cross King Crunchers in set number 3. There is a couple of VNS players, CJ Segi, Jan Mangulabnan, and company. Ben San Andres also present. Kanina po, ang VNS ay natalo sa Savage in 4 sets.
Pero lalaban pa rin sa battle for third.
Sila pa rin naman on Wednesday and on Friday, possibly on Sunday as well. Jaron couldn't score. Rotter centering it. It's Louis with a push. Chance for the white shirts. Slide Gian. No chase there for Lorenzo.
No change of pace coming from Polvorosa. Wing hitters, middle blockers, back row plays. Then it goes to Gian Glorioso to be able to keep that defense flat-footed. 2-point lead. Big scoring surge generated by Criss Cross.
Ish service in. Kasanya on to Ting Bugawan.
Floor time is on for Bugawan. Also had some stellar games here for Cignal in the conference.
Had 13 points versus Savage in round 2 and a dozen with 5 blocks in round 2
How many
versus
times
Alpha.
do you see two brothers playing together at this high level?
Nico
Nice
Almendras.
disguise.
Wow.
And again, Glorioso. Alam mo yung mga ginagawa ni Polvorosa, may reason may dahilan to set up the next flow of offense. Kanina pumunto si Glorioso, siya naman ang binantayan, dinikitan. At hindi na na-recover yung nahatak niya na blocker.
Just making things easy for Nico, who now serves 14-12 Criss Cross. Rotter got a hand. Sumang with a look and a bump set for Jude.
Wow.
Still dug up. EJ sending it through. Chance ball Criss Cross. Polvorosa back set to Jaron. The dig by Kasanya. Lorenzo, his back set.
Nice.
Oh, what a cross by Rotter.
Tremendous transition sequence. What about Lorenzo? Straight to Rotter. They were on their heels in that last long rally. Lorenzo saving that last play.
This matchup just gets more and more interesting. 13-14 now. Oh, service error. Error number 6 for Cignal in this set. They had what, 20 combined in the first 2?
Correct. Ayan, sa harap natin. 20. 14 naman sa dalawang sets para sa King Crunchers.
EJ, Bugawan, that was wide. And now it's Crisscross leading us to the technical timeout, 16-13 and
Kahit nasa Japan naman ako, pinapanood ko every game sila at masaya ako from last season, yung improvement ng team na nung nandun ako, tapos nang nawala ako. At happy ako na makakabalik ulit ako sa Criss Cross and hopefully makasama sa journey nila na makuha tong season na to. Siguro kung sino manalo dito sa game na to, mentally, mas advantage coming to the finals.
there you see the former UAAP superstar of Ateneo in Mark Espejo. He hasn't played in today's outing, but that will allow me to remind you guys that UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live because legends start here. Bugawan sending that ball onto the back. The counter with Jude. The dig by Lorenzo. Oh, that was hard for EJ Casanya.
Tried his best. As Garcia once again overpowers the defense. Polvorosa. Tremendous consistency. Many-time UAP champion, many-time best setter as well. Part of the national pool.
And 16 excellent sets in this game for Ish as now Wendell Miguel responds.
Up 4, then down 4. 8-point turnaround by the King Crunchers. Miguel tries to keep them afloat amidst a possible meltdown. Yes.
Oh, Kim Malabunga rising up for the point.
I'll say this as a matter of fact. Not to take anything away from Retamar nor Casanya. The difference maker is Ish Polvorosa.
And now, after that monstrous hit by Kim Malabunga, we're gonna see the phenom for the very first time. Mark Espejo entering the match alongside Jewel Asia. People rejoicing here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum.
Sayang nga naman yung mata-traffic ka. Kailangan makita mo si Mark Espejo.
This is his third game in this conference. He started in their last match.
Nahanap ko rin si Brian Bagunas. Makita mo lang eh, di ba?
Oh. Rotter blocked. EJ turns around. Same attacker. Rejection by Criss Cross.
Down 4, up 5. The turnaround has spilled over to 9 points in their favor. Casanya well read. Look at Garcia's cover. Line shot, tracing that shot, and Malabunga closing that wall.
19-14 Jewel. Ball up by Vince. EJ to the quick. Ooh, almost saved. Josafat getting the point.
Good activity coming from Josafat. 5 points after set 2. Has learned how to play with better control. Iba rin na rin talaga pag may international exposure ang bata.
Yes. 15-19. Mark Espejo inside for the phenom.
I heard the sound. But more than that, the placement of that shot. The diagonal delivery. Meron kang Jude Garcia. Meron kang Almendras. Meron kang Requinton. May bahala pa na Mark Espejo.
Oh, Malabunga couldn't maximize that gift. Espejo again. Cignal HD right there to counter with Wendell. That goes through for Wendell Miguel.
What a sequence for Wendell Miguel against a triple block. Ready to ambush. Lorenzo once again doing a fine job. Getting that ball to the open hitter.
And Wendell is just willing his team in this set. Can they give us a comeback though? 16-20. Sumang first ball. Jewel onto Kim. And Malabunga will not be denied. Asia celebrating with him.
Alam mo yung value ni Wendell Miguel? Hindi lang yung tinatry niyang ilabas yung energy ng mga kalaban eh, nung kasama pala niya. Minsan kasi, yun ang mawawala yung doubts, Hindi ko naman sinasabing merong kaba. Pero natural yun eh, in the course of the game. But sometimes, pag may kasama ka na ganyan na feeling mo napakatapang, nadadagdagan yung tapang mo.
Right, right. Sumusunod ka na sa tapang nakakampi mo. Now, Pemi Bagalay serves. Back row. Almost worked. Regalo. Nahawa na, Coach Ronnie, si Lloyd mula kay Wendell.
This was a point waiting to happen, but it was an overpass coming from Pem Bagalay.
Jewel to Nico. Got a hand. The save by Wendell. EJ had to chase that down. Ramirez. Asia, back
Wow.
set.
Wow.
Marcus Vejo. And
Wow.
that won't be saved anymore.
What about that play coming from Jewel Asia? From right to left and then straight to Espejo. This one, that was a rush. Wide open, isolated. Against a single block. Against that line defense coming from Josaphat. 5-point lead. Crisscross, 9-point turnaround.
Double sub back in Ish Polvorosa, the master orchestrator alongside Jaron Requinton. Here's EJ Casanya. On to Louis Ramirez. He gets a point off the block. Cignal still in it. 18-22. This is a manageable cushion.
That's also a super talent. Louis Ramirez.
Ish onto Glorioso. Ball sent back. Now it's Jaron.
Oh, that's a miss.
Overcooked that one.
Composure. Poise. Hitting the big shots.
19 serving 22. Glorioso reaching for that one. Oh, the save. Ang hirap doon para kay EJ.
Yan ang sayang.
He tried so hard and got so far.
They were all right there.
Put him down on the ground.
Not the best shot really for Glorioso, pero enough to score.
It's 23-19 in set 3. Nico Almendras. Received by Lorenzo. EJ to the quick. And that is a point for Teng Bugawan.
Touch by Glorioso.
That's why Almendras had to try to save it. 20-23. Here's Louis Ramirez. Ball up by Sumang. Garcia. Cignal will send it to Wendell. Blocked!
That's a rare one against Miguel. He's been the most successful in terms of percentage, attack rate. Porsyentuhan para kay Casanya.
Jaron Requinton was right there to return the ball.
Redeeming himself after an attack error late in the set. Timeout for Coach Dexter Clamor for set points. Held by the King Crunchers.
Yan ang sinasabi ko, kailangan talaga natin. Pag-establish block, sinabi ko na yan. Pag-establish block, hindi pwedeng ibabaw natin sa kamay. Maka-block tayo, Wendell. So kailangan matutunan talaga yun. Next! Jude Garcia, di ba? Patapos na. Bakit nagko-commit ka ba? 24. Dalawa ka agad dito. Okay, go! Side out, pasa!
(20-24). Let's see if Cignal can still make this an extended set, which was the case in set number 1. That was the tightest set in this conference between these two.
In 2024, these two teams met in the finals twice. And Cignal won both. Collisions in the finals.
Nico with a save. Ish to the open. Garcia got a hand. And a good chance to counter. EJ back set to Rotter. A lot of power there.
That was more than a lot. Asanya going reverse set.
Crisscross was there, but then with the power, the ball ended up at the side. 21-24. Kim Malabunga will end set number 3.
Boom, boom, pow for Kim Malabunga. And Kim Possible strikes again. No more late rallies. Now, 2 straight sets for a 1-set lead against the 8-time Spikers Turf champions.
Two and 3, 25-21 in favor of the King Crunchers against the HD Spikers. Coach Ronnie, it looks like they're looking normal. The Criss Cross King Crunchers, as of course, referencing into how they looked in the first 2 rounds.
But there was one thing that we saw that we did not see in the first 2 sets, within the team that led early was able to go on and close out that set. Not so here in the third. They had a 4-point lead at 8-4 as we reached the first technical timeout. Suddenly, they found themselves behind. And much, much deeper as we crossed the halfway mark. Dito lumabas yung firepower at depth. Dito lumabas yung sipag sa net defense. Pero ulitin ko, yung pagiging savant o genius ni Ish Polvorosa, yun ang difference maker. Look at the efficiency in their offense. Yung blocking na yan, hindi lang sa kill blocks na may measure yan, kundi sa dami ng attempts at dami ng tira na nalalilihis dahil sa kanilang sipag. Service errors continue to haunt the Cignal HD Spikers. And right now, after losing the second consecutive set, will now be 1 set behind the Crunchers.
Going back to the savant that you mentioned in Ish Polvorosa, his season or conference best performance actually came against Cignal in round number 2. Had 28 exited sets in only 4 total played sets.
Yes.
It was that good by Ish Polvorosa.
Remember that for a while, Ish was lost here in the Spikers turf. Moved around until the franchise came along. And then he found themselves with his former Ateneo teammates.
Yep. Right at home for Ish Polvorosa.
Right at home.
But even if he was going around from one team to another, I remember that in the last game, they went up against VNS, and it was actually featured that the last semifinals appearance of VNS had Malabunga and Polvorosa in the roster. So kita mo na along those years, may epekto pa rin talaga yung naging leadership ni Ish Polvorosa even onto other teams. As now we break down the leading scorers, Garcia with 16 and Rotter with 14 in this matchup.
We haven't seen Umandal again. Louis Ramirez, meanwhile, has had no scoring explosion for the Red Shirts.
Requinton. Well, there was a violation committed by Cignal HD.
A touch. Jared Canton has really come into his own. Given extended floor time, he has delivered and ranks, I believe, in the top 5 or top 10 among the leading scorers.
Took him a lot of time transitioning back onto indoor volleyball. But it's been worth it for him as JP Bugawan just scored. He was also sat down by Coach Dex in the previous set as his brother had a lot of playing time.
Had his chances.
2-1 Cignal in set 4. Glorioso activated.
Glorioso received the second best with the blocker award in the previous conference. And you can see the reason why. Former Blue Eagle.
Ganda ng kanyang pagbabalik, Coach Ronnie.
Sa kondisyon na kondisyon.
He was gone for a while. He worked as a programmer of all jobs. And yet here he is as now. Yep, that went off of Ish.
We've seen several narratives, of course, from different players. Different challenges. But the most important part is they're back here doing what they do best.
Bugawan targeting Jude. Now it's Kim Malabunga.
Again. That's the Ish-Kim combo.
Good look for Kim Malabunga off of
Perfect
the
timing,
setup.
yes. One
3-0.
time was the tallest player in the UAP.
Yeah.
Their version.
Now it's Josafat scoring for Cignal HD.
This was before the advent of foreign student athletes, correct? Kim Malabunga.
Ngayon ba sa Spikers turf, he's the tallest? Isn't he?
Baka.
He seems to be. Ish. Charon off the block.
What a play by Polvorosa. Full trust on Riquinton. Pambihira.
That mastery of Ish has allowed him to register 20 excellent sets now in this game.
Off the block point earlier by Riquinton, but the service miscue by Jude Garcia moves them 1 point behind the HD Spikers.
5 serving 4, Wendell. Wala by Nico, over receive. Oh, it was blocked by Ish Polvorosa. Thus the walk-off.
I like that.
My goodness. I mean, it's been a very good game already for him, Coach Ronnie. Why not add on to it? Some spice from Ish.
Smiling, but Josafat is not.
Oh, yes, of course. And he'll want some retribution. It's Ramirez off the block.
Attacking the smaller blocker.
Back and forth we go here in set number 4
For the next week.
The finals will begin on Wednesday. At the Open, check out the lip. This time it's Nico Almendras.
Another off the block point. Wiping that shot off the double block.
Polvorosa now at the back. 6-all. Ball up by Ramirez. Casanya to Louis. Good chance to counter. Ish. Charon down the line.
Lorenzo was right there. Right there. Perfect spot. But the case of offense better than the defense. That's with a lot of force coming from Riquinton.
Oh, that's short. Another service error, and we have a deadlock 7-all.
Try to go for that short serve.
Here's EJ Casanya. Almendras outside. Cignal will lead us on to the technical timeout. They want to give us the first 5-set match between these two in this conference.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Semifinals 2025, where power meets passion. Again, a quick trivia for all our viewers watching. Did you guys know that Crisscross versus Cignal in the preliminary round? For the first round, Crisscross won in 3 sets. For the second round naman, Crisscross won in 4 sets. Which brings me to my report, Migs and Coach Ronnie. We have all seen the immense improvement from Crisscross in this conference. And assistant coach Carl Baisa did mention that it's really because of the change of mindset which they instilled in their training camp before this conference. They have zero expectations to win in every game. They encourage each other more now, even with the errors, and they have this collective team reminder. How can we outdo each other positively? They are establishing healthy competition, great support system, no blaming, no pressure, and a healthy mental state this conference. And we can definitely see the effects. And hopefully, tuloy na raw ito for Crisscross. Back to you guys.
It's their way of challenging themselves during their practices that have definitely translated onto their games. Some might even have this argument na mas mahirap pa yung practices nila compared sa mga laro
And
nila.
that's what coaches love to do, to prepare their players, be at their best.
Oh, great effort by Crisscross to keep it alive. And here comes Cignal. Miguel with a push. Almost outsmarted the defense. Jaron, cross, and it was out.
A series of attack errors here for the white shirts. Up 2, now behind by 2.
A 4-point swing, Cignal HD with smiles across their faces.
They'll take it willingly.
This is Luis Ramirez. Oh, he has a game face on with 9 onto his tally. Power serve. It's Jude. Power hit down the line.
If there's someone who can turn things around in their favor, it has to be Jude Garcia. Let's see if he'll get more touches from Polvorosa, who's been spreading the wealth, so to speak. Close-out time for Crisscross.
Received by Lorenzo. It is JP Bugawan who will meet the line.
Masterpiece from Bugawan.
Napadali na yun para kay JP.
Up 2.
11-9. Here's the captain of Cignal HD. Ball up by Jude. On to the receiver.
Oh! It happens.
Wow, a rare mistake by EJ Casanya. You know, double contact. But as you mentioned,
It happens.
he is human.
Walang kaibahan sa turnover yan. Nangyayari talaga.
Tama. For retribution. Miguel. Not yet. Sumang bumps it up for Jude. We'll have to recalculate. Coverage by Jaron. Same attacker. Wow, what a cross.
And the second hit was with more force. On a regular basis, mag-iingat na eh.
Yes.
Bakit ka naman mag-iingat kung ganyan kakagaling at kalakas?
You know, sharp that was. Even Vince Lorenzo couldn't save it anymore.
Super talent, Jude Garcia. From the sand.
Alongside Jaron.
All the way to indoor volleyball.
The one-handed set onto Wendell, who celebrated straight onto Ishmael Borosa's face. Oh, now we're going to feel it all the more in this rivalry. The hit by Wendell, and then the straight-up celebration. There will be a warning given up by our first referee. So good. There's just that fire.
Simple lang yan eh, in the heat of the moment.
Of course. And the fans are loving it inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum.
We are too.
12-11, Cignal HD up in set 4. Let's see if that will light a fire onto Cignal HD. An error though by Rotter.
Matrix move coming from Nico Almendras.
Yeah.
That's really dodging a bullet.
The pseudo libero of Criss Cross himself.
Was played Tremendous floor defense.
12 all. Jude Garcia has 17 to his name. EJ Wendell, cross court. He is on fire.
He's walking the talk. Not only is he putting the energy, but he's playing extremely well from the first set onwards.
Right now, he is embodying where power meets passion. Wendell Miguel.
Definitely. Second player in double figures for the Cignal HD Spikers.
13-12. Wendell's at the back now. Ish. Back row. Jude Garcia onto the line.
No challenge called in by the players of the HD Spikers. Napasok. Kasi sobrang bilis. Paglingon mo, wala na eh.
Yes.
Baba na yung bola.
Buti na lang, may linesman tayo. May challenge system. Vince, nice pass. D-ball, Rotter, outside.
Tide has turned. White shirts have recovered. Let's see who acts as the stabilizer aside from Wendell Miguel here for the HD Spikers.
14-13. Rotter pambawi. What a dig by Malabunga. And Almendras will give up a free ball. Not a time for EJ. He sends it to Lloyd inside.
Lost opportunity for the King Crunchers. Booming point delivered by Lloyd Josephat.
They equalize.
Laki ng improvement ni Josephat, sobra. At the time I saw him as a first-year player for the UE Red Warriors way back.
My experience with Cignal, with AMC, and with the national team have helped out as now Glorioso scores off the block.
Look at Ishmael Morosa. It's been a while since Glorioso has had his touch, but still ripe for that slide play.
You couldn't see Ish's reaction there.
I saw it, but I saw it.
You know, I'm waiting for a moment kung saan makascore si Ish. And then, let's anticipate how he would react if that would happen. Oh, Steven Rotter now reacting with fire.
Best matchup in the three meetings.
Yep. In the non-bearing game.
And the pressure will double come the finals.
15 all, Jaron. His turn to check it out. Crisscross will lead us to the second technical timeout. 16-15. Back for our semi-final matchup of Cignal and Criss Cross. There's the backside of Polvorosa onto Jaron Requinton. Criss Cross back at the driver's seat. We have our fans present inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum enjoying this rivalry. As Coach Ronnie mentioned, the games between these two just have kept on getting better and better. As now Rotter gave us a strong hit. It's Nico from the back.
My,
wow!
my. And so far, that could be the shot of this match. Wow. On a bump pass, on a bump set rather.
Nico Almendras with the bullet. challenging the defense of Wendell Miguel.
That was from the back row. May low card na.
That's presented on the Criss Cross. But we did see the thumbs up from Ish Polvorosa and company. They're up 17-15 in set 4.
Medyo mainit, ha?
At hindi pa finals to. Mas lalo pa this coming Wednesday. Sayang lang for Nico Almendras na bawi ang puntos niya.
That was a crucial mistake. Could have been up by 3 instead. The lead is down to 1.
Louis Ramirez's turn. Ball up by Sumang. Combination. Ooh. It was an awkward fall for Jude Garcia, but he seems good to go. At that point, forget about the play.
Forget about the point.
Just make sure you're gonna stay healthy. Ayun, paangat. Also quite awkward for Gian Glorioso.
Mabuti umilag din sa Bugawan. Eh. Tama?
Of course.
The sporting gesture.
Yan naman ang gusto natin among the volleyball
Oh,
players.
by the way, it's tied at 17.
Oh, yeah. Despite the heat of the moment, they all love each other. Combination, and it's Jaron Requinton scoring for Criss Cross.
What a weapon. We saw drift stint coming from Mark Espejo, who helped out Criss Cross build a one-set lead.
Gian Glorioso now serving. 18-17 Criss Cross. At the net. And the violation was called on Casanya. They want a challenge. EJ thought his move was still legal. This would allow everybody to relax a bit here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. On Wednesday, we will begin with VNS versus Savage in their battle for third best-of-3 series. And then we proceed to Criss Cross versus Cignal HD in their very own championship series. Criss Cross still undefeated in this conference, entering this matchup with a record of 12-0. Cignal 10-2. Their 2 losses, of course, against the King Crunchers. But they haven't lost a final series against Criss Cross, as mentioned by Coach Ronnie. Last year, they met there twice.
The trilogy is forthcoming. In about 72 hours, that will happen.
Let's see. Was it legal by EJ?
Oh, call for overreach.
So the challenge will be unsuccessful. Coach Dex not convinced.
Tumawid na, no?
Coach Dex saying nasa gitna pa ang bola.
Basta may dumungaw na bola. Yung kamay, yung bola, lampas na yun. Lampas na yun. Kaya reaching na siya. Papaluin na talaga nila yun. Okay na.
You heard the explanation.
Maliwanag. Three straight points right now for King Crunchers.
1917, Gian Glorioso.
Can they add on?
Oh, that scraped the tape of the net. It's Bugawan who had to adjust mid-air.
Tawa, sige, malabong. Lumusot. Ang tawag dyan ay nautakan na, nagulangan pa. Ayan, no, lusot.
Nagtinginan na lang ang dalawang middle blocker.
Kaya na.
Chance for a deadlock. Cignal trying to do so. They have JP Bugawan doing the honors.
Ang ganda panoorin ng mga veterano.
Of course. Ish on to Jude.
Oh, that's a miss.
Way off for Jude Garcia.
Unlikely. Up 2. Now no more.
An absolute miss-hit.
Oh, he went for the cut.
Which team will get the lead? Ball up by Almendras. Back set. Requinton.
Wow.
Nice cross.
This is what I was referring to wherein he's a big asset really as a scoring weapon.
And speaking of assets, as you get to see that beautiful hit once more by Jaron Requinton, we're back with the double sub of Criss Cross, Jewel Asia, and Mark Espejo.
Well, the difference is, in the previous set they were ahead. This is as tight as it gets.
But those two players are no strangers to clutch moments. Asia with the serve. Ball up by Louis. EJ to the quick. Oh, body shot by Josafat onto Asia.
Josafat has delivered, no doubt. Full of confidence. Earlier it was Bugawan scoring off Kim Malabunga. Now it's Lloyd Josafat.
20 all. Ooh, an error from the service line again. By the way, serving has been quite the challenge for Steven Rother in this matchup. He's had at least 6 errors from that line.
Binilangan mo, ha?
We saw it a while ago. We had the stat. Rother Pambawe. That was in.
Clean line shot. Oh, they'll challenge it.
Criss Cross not convinced. Ball in, ball out. This is a big challenge.
Indeed.
Criss Cross trying to do what they did in round number 2 versus Cignal, which was win sets 2-4, while the HD Spikers would like to send us onto a set 5. In terms of 5-set matches, these two haven't gone the distance yet in this conference. It was actually Savage going the distance against Cignal and
Pareho.
Criss Cross.
Tig-isa. And Savage will try to replicate their 3rd place finish, their best ever finish as a franchise.
Although you have to love what has happened for that franchise in the past couple of conferences. Kitang-kita natin yung progression nila.
Mark Alado also making his move from Cignal to Savage.
All right, let's see. That is in. Wow, a hairline.
Yellow in.
Grabe yun. $21 all. Race to 4 here in set 4.
Remember, we had an extended first set.
Jewel, Mark Espejo. The dive by Lorenzo. Regalo para kay Nico Almendras.
Ihahatid sana ni Lorenzo. Wendell Miguel tweaking his right ankle.
Now he's able to stand up. Miguel looking good to go. Good to go as well is Pemi Bagalay off of this monstrous hit by Nico Almendras. Ayun. Pinagpag lang ni Wendell afterwards.
Nasobra yung hatid ni Lorenzo.
D-ball. Oh,
that was a pinball.
Yeah.
Hit coming from Rother.
Just
and he
bounced
says,
off.
let's go.
Couple players of Criss Cross getting a touch on it, but obviously they could not control it. Steven Rother is now feeling the adrenaline in set 4. 22 all. Espejo had to adjust. And here's Louis Ramirez. Dug up by Sumang. They send it to the open. No point yet for Nico. The counter with Rother. Same action, same result.
Critical points here fired by Steven Rother. Espejo could not put that point away. Kasanya, reverse set. unstoppable at that spot.
Gotta love this if you're a Cignal HD fan. Steven Rother feeling himself here in crunch time.
Ay, isang convert lang. Let's go. Hey, ไปฮาร์ดตองฮะไปเล็บไลน์ฮะไม่เป็นไรฮัปปี้ฮัปปี้ Kaya bang ready pa tapos na lang yan? Let's go, hey, Crisscross! Crisscross! Go guys, go guys!
It is 23-22 in favor of Cignal HD against Manuel Sumanggid, Mark Espejo, and the Criss Cross King Crunchers.
Up 2, down 1, 3-point swing. Generated by the HD Spikers, anchored on Steven Rother.
Musafat serving. He has 11 to his name. The receive by Almendras. Asia to Nico. Saved there by Ramirez, who will push. Chance ball. Joel back to Almendras. That time he won't be denied.
That floor defense has been awesome for the HD Spikers. Almendras had to put something extra in that last kill to finally put the point away. Tight scoreline late here in the fourth.
23 all, and the double sub will return. Ish Polvorosa and Jaron Requinton.
Husay din talaga ni Nico Almendras maglaro.
Of course. And remember, he's relatively new to the Spikers turf. He's already playing like a veteran. Steven Rother. That is... Oh, it made it in!
And that's the irony of it all.
Wow. What a block point for Criss Cross. Coach Dex will call for time. It's match point now for the King Crunchers.
Steve, try to hit long and cross. Okay, next. Frontline si AJ, kahit idikit nyo sa net, pwede siya mag-grab. Bahala ka, diskarte mo. Kailangan na makapasa, tignan mo yung spacing. Pag tumakbo na dito, pwede mo ulitin kay Steve. Ngayon, pag nandito si JB, pwede bigyan ng wait nyo nasa likod. Good. A time out, better. Hindi nasa likod. Wendell. Pasa lang muna. Let's go.
Let's see that last play. A Steven Rother hit. Brought back by the net defense of Criss Cross, and somehow, some way, the ball met the line. It was that tight.
Close.
Match point, and a service error by Criss Cross. We have our second extended set in this match.
This has hurt them. But in the fourth. Crucial service errors. Time and again.
24 all. Polvorosa. The block against Almendras. It's Jaron. Ooh, an open zone.
Well placed by Requinton. Just when you think that Cignal will get that last point. Here's Jude Garcia with that bump set. No one home in that zone.
Wide open for Jaron. Match point again for the Criss Cross King Crunchers. Nico Almendras. Service in, the receive by Lorenzo. They send it to Rother. Met at the net. Coverage present. It's Louis Ramirez. Still alive. Rother. Block. Coverage by Louis. Steven Rother. Lefty push. To counter with Jaron. Dug up by EJ Casanya. Lorenzo. Now to Rother. Still kept alive. Chance ball signal. Casanya. JP Bugawan. And that was in.
Extended.
Criss Cross will challenge this.
Look at Sumanggid sweeping that sideline.
They're convinced that the ball went out. We have to rely on our machines in order to determine it.
Too far from our end.
Yes.
But what a sequence, what a rally Tremendous effort by both teams.
In or out? Oh, that
they're
was
right.
out.
That's why sumanggit. Called it.
And now we have another challenge. A block touch challenge by Cignal HD. Why not? Might as well.
Well, you have it. Might as well use it.
What an ending.
Not too fast, says Coach Dexter Clamor.
He doesn't want to end it.
But look at Jude Garcia. Trying to cool down.
Man, this is our prelude to the championship series. There was a challenge by Cignal, but I think Coach Dex is just doing this for the sake of trying.
Kala ko for the sake of art eh.
Ooh, wala. Malinis. Malinis. There you have it. The Crisscross King Crunchers will win this match in 4 sets. At least we ended on a high, Coach Ronnie.
Oh, very high note.
Thank you.
Grabe Ish, 27 excellent sets. I know that in the middle of this conference, you were feeling lost. You lacked in self-confidence. I remember you were telling me about that. But then, could you talk to me about siguro your process of healing and getting back to where you are now? You're the player of the game, 27 excellent sets. Talk to me about that.
No, I don't think so. I think that's last year. This conference,
Okay, this conference.
I've been feeling very confident with myself and my performance, and of course with my teammates, because we've been working so hard since we lost last conference noong December, I think. So yeah, I think that's the key, the self-confidence and self-belief.
Yes, I know that you guys were focusing on that, the self-confidence, self-belief, and also the positivity of the team, which really shows in every game for you guys. Ngayon naman, in this game against Cignal, talk to me about the errors that you guys need to improve on, especially going against them in the finals.
Kudos to Cignal today kasi they forced a lot of errors as well from us. Kasi talagang ginalingan din ng Cignal today. There were a lot of plays na sumakses sila. And sumakses din naman kami in a lot of aspects today. And that's good kasi kahit technically this is, not an important game, a non-bearing game, we still showed our best today, both Cignal and Crisscross. So pagtatrabaho pa rin sa training yung mga errors para makuha namin yung championship.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Ish, and congratulations. Now it's your time to greet all of the viewers watching.
Hello to our supporters, the Criss Cross King Crunchers fans and supporters. Thank you for supporting us dito live. And of course, yung mga nanonood po sa bahay. Manood po kayo ng finals namin next week, Game 1, Game 2. And of course po, yung family ko sa Cavite, hi. And to Sir Jonathan ng Sir Alan Acero and Ma'am Lizan, thank you so much. And dun po sa families and friends po ng teammates ko, maraming salamat. Hi, Mick!
Thank you so much. Once again, our best player of the game, Ish Polverosa, with 27 excellent sets of the Criss Cross King Crunchers. Back to you, Mix and Coach Ron.
27 excellent sets, one shy from tying his conference high, which he actually achieved twice in this conference. Just complete mastery on the court for Ish Polverosa.
27 in just 4 sets. But more than that, the mastery over the Cignal HD Spikers is something that they were able to impose. It did not come easy. Took a lot of effort. And that's where preparation, composure, poise comes in.
We definitely love the storyline of these two teams. It continues to develop even as we ended this game. We felt the fire from both sides, and it's just the perfect prelude onto Game 1 happening inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum this Wednesday. But Coach Ronnie, what type of promise did this game present to you as you also anticipate the finals?
Well, it's more or less the same. What will change in 72 hours perhaps is, sabi nga ni Ish, sa kanila, i-limit yung kanilang errors. No? Work on your service. Work on your blocking. That in 72 hours, more or less, you will more or less see the character of these two teams. Again, for Cignal, it's all about the heritage. History being the winningest team. While for Crisscross, enough is enough. Do I say bridesmaid? They don't want that to happen for the 3rd straight time. And these numbers are just appetizers, so to speak, for the forthcoming collision course come Wednesday.
There you have it. At least for this game, it is Crisscross winning in 4 sets against the Cignal HD Spikers. And we'd like to invite you that on Wednesday, we'll have 2 games. Of course, it's the Battle of Third as well before we proceed to the Championship Series. It is VNS versus Savage beginning at 3:30 p.m. That's Game 1 of their own series. And then Game 1 for Cignal HD versus Crisscross here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, happening this April 2. That's on Wednesday. All right, so we wrap up our semifinals. Thank you for joining us. It's been one heck of a ride, and it's just going to get better as we continue our Spikers Turf Open Conference. Thank you for joining us. For Yana Perlas and Coach Ronnie Magsadok, my name is Mix Gomez, and this is where power beats passion.